We are also following developing news from the Middle East, where the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas could be breaking down. Israel says Prime Minister Netanyahu has ordered the military to carry out powerful strikes in the Gaza Strip. This comes after Israel accused Hamas of violating the peace deal by returning the wrong remains of a hostage. Israel says the militant group delivered remains of a hostage whose body was recovered 2 years ago instead of one that is still missing. Frank Gardner from our partners at the BBC joins us now. Frank, what does this mean for the peace deal?
Well, fragile is exactly the right word to use. This is the second major challenge, I think, to the Trump-brokered Gaza ceasefire plan, and possibly the biggest one, because two things have happened. One is that there has been an outbreak of violence in the Gaza Strip between Hamas, say Israel, and Israeli forces there. They say that they were fired upon. They responded with artillery. But then perhaps even more seriously is the issue that you mentioned there about the hostage, the false excavation or fake excavation, Israel is calling it. So what happened here is that under the terms of the Trump deal, Hamas is supposed to return all the living hostages, which it did, in return for a large number of Palestinian detainees and prisoners. They were also released, but it's also expected to hand back the remains of 28 dead hostages. And it's only done that so far with around half of them. And Israel is accusing Hamas of deliberately dragging its feet, really turning the knife on those families who are waiting for the return of their loved ones. So last night, it put up a drone, the Israeli military put up a drone, which secretly filmed what appears to be Hamas operatives removing the body or the remains of a hostage out of a house, putting it into a shallow grave, covering it in soil, and then calling the Red Cross saying, here you go, here's another hostage. And turns out it was the remains, as you mentioned, of somebody who was already removed from Gaza 2 years ago. So there's really a breakdown in faith between the two sides, as if there ever was much over these two issues. And Israel has responded with airstrikes. At least 3 positions have been hit in Gaza. We don't have casualty figures yet.
Can you break down the issues with Hamas returning the hostage remains?
Well, Hamas are saying, don't blame us. The Israelis are making it very difficult because they are impeding the excavation equipment and access that they say they need. Israel suspects that Hamas knows exactly where the hostage remains are kept, and they are deliberately dragging this out for 2 reasons. One, they say, to hurt the families. Yeah, can you hear me? Are you losing contact with us? If you can still hear me,
we can hear you, Frank.
I'll carry on. So one reason for the delay is that they think they want to make it as painful as possible for the families. The other is that Hamas needs to consolidate its power. It knows that under the terms of the deal, a fourth, an international stabilization force, is going to be coming into Gaza, and they want to shore up their power before that happens. Hamas, from their side, say, look, we've had 2 years of carnage here. Gaza Strip has been absolutely pummeled from the air and from artillery and from tank fire and from demolitions. It's impossible for us to immediately find all of these bodies straight away. We need modern excavation equipment to come in. The Egyptians have sent some, and we need time to be able to find this. And that is time which I think Israel is very reluctant to give them. Israeli patience seems to be running out.
Okay, Frank Gardner, thank you so much for breaking all that down for us.